Obviously there are lots of different bear sign that we look for when we're moving through the landscape. When we're sharing space with these big bears, you're looking for the classics, looking for prints. I'm fairly obsessed with tracking and prints, so I'm looking for those all the time. We're also looking for scat, and there's different ways you can interpret scat. A grass-eating scat or a sedge-eating scat, an animal protein-eating scat like the salmon scats these guys are leaving behind, and then there's kind of like both kind of stuff. So different scat options. Certainly, looking for overturned ground. So a lot of the bears out here are digging for voles along the banks. They're digging into this cow parsnip, trying to get down to the roots. Stuff is toxic for humans. It puts out this oil in the sunshine, and it interacts in the heated sun with your skin and kind of leaves like bubble burns. But the bears out here love eating it. They dig up the roots, cow parsnip. So you're looking for all those type of things. Like in this environment, certainly there are other things you're looking for, But one thing that most people don't consider, but this is very common, probably specifically to the coastal Alaskan bears and the Kodiak bears, where I'm right now. Ultimately, like the big Alaskan bears on the coast of mainland Alaska, which I've seen there in fairly close proximity. They of course are eating, they're feeding on the beaches, eating clams and stuff like that this time of year when the tide is out. But they're also eating a lot of sedges, which is grasses. And then also they love out there the goose tongue and the arrow, which are kind of like these tidal flat, kind of semi-succulent type short, at this time of year at least, plants. But out here on Kodiak Island, I don't think they have those in the sort of inland areas. So, but we certainly are, got sedges all around us. And so one thing you really want to be looking for when you're walking along, particularly the banks of these salmon rivers, because is the nod down and shoot out sedges, right? So here's, let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about here. You can see the tips of these things are chewed off. I'm going to flip the camera around. See, the tips of these are all chewed off. There's a few that are remaining. But certainly if you look around in this area where I'm sitting right now, you see the ends of a lot of these things are just nibbled off. That is textbook Kodiak Bear 101. And I mean, these guys are eating salmon like crazy in this river. There's literally salmon right here behind me. You can see them rooster tailing in the river. But they'll take a break from eating salmon and they'll come up onto the shoreline here and start chomping away and munching on these sedges and grasses out here. And, oh wow, there's a huge school of salmon running right up here, splashing around. But they'll take a break from that and come and continue filling up on these sedges, and you can hear them. When you're close to them out here, you can hear them crunching and munching this stuff like cows. It's unbelievable how loud they are when they're eating these sedges. They tear them and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, this is one of these sort of more nuanced signs that we might be looking for out here. These are these chewed off sedge tips. And frequently that's not something that people are identifying readily. It's much more of a nuanced sign. So it's cool to look for.